Welcome back to Take Action News, everybody. David Shuster here for June the 8th, the weekend of June the 8th. So glad to have you on Take Action News, a show that is now powered by Ethical Electric. We are so thrilled to tell you that we've changed a little bit in terms of our where we're getting our electricity. We're all about, of course, telling you what's going on in the world and what you can do to influence outcomes. And we've discovered something at We Act Radio and Take Action News that we can do to try to change outcomes, and that is make sure that our power supply is brought to us from an ethical organization that is concerned about the world around us. And here to talk about that, so pleased to have Tom Matsey. He is the CEO and president of Ethical Electric. He spent many years fighting against the privatization of Social Security. He spent a couple of years at MoveOn.org, but has just in the last 2 years started this amazing organization. Tom, welcome to Take Action News.
Thanks. I'm really happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Ethical Electric and what it is.
Sure. We're an electricity supplier for homes and businesses in many states, including New York, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and other states coming soon. People have a choice of where they get their electricity from. One company still provides the wire to your house, handles all emergencies, handles your bill, reads the meter. That's your utility. But then you can choose a different company who you buy your power from. And we do something different than most other companies in this space. We offer ethical electricity, which means 100% clean power. We buy energy from wind farms across Pennsylvania for the most part, also in Maryland and a little bit in New Jersey, New York. And then we also share a portion of all revenue from the organization, from the company, with the causes that our customers care about. In addition to that, we spend our marketing dollars through progressive movement organizations, companies, campaigns, so in order to create a funding source, for progressive movement organizations.
We're in a very fortunate position, both at Take Action News and We Act Radio, in that this is something that we can afford to do regardless of the cost. But for a consumer or a commercial outfit out there that is considering this, would they pay more? Would they pay less? Would they pay about the same?
They pay about the same. I mean, that's what's so great about our model. We have spent nearly 2 years getting all of the necessary licensing from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, becoming a member of the grid where wholesale power is bought and sold. And so we essentially buy power wholesale and then are able to provide it retail at basically the same price as what the utility. Now, in any given month, it might not be exactly the same because energy prices change all the time. But over the course of a year, we guarantee it's about the same price as what you pay right now.
We have a lot of listeners who are in Chicago over WCPT, Chicago's Progressive Talk. I know that that's a community that's also very interested in using their wallets, their pocketbooks to try to influence change. How can they, in a city like Chicago, is it available for them out there?
We'll be in Chicago coming this fall. We're not there yet. Chicago is definitely one of our most important markets. You have a great progressive community in Chicago that has been active and engaged in everything from opposing the war in Iraq to opposing Social Security privatization to the Occupy movement and beyond.
I want to bring in my boss at We Act Radio, one of the owners, Alex Lawson. Alex, Ethical Electric first came on your radar. Explain how and what got you interested in them.
I first heard about Ethical Electric. There's actually just quite a buzz going on around the concept, and I and you as well. When we created We Act Radio together on Take Action News as our flagship program, the whole idea of having progressive businesses, so that people understand that they can actually take action just by the consumer choices that they make. It's always been a big part of your program. So when I heard that we had the opportunity to actually make an impact passively, basically, we need electricity to run our studio, and we have a choice, and we could make a choice that was in line with our values. So I heard about that, and then when I actually heard the pitch, when Richard with Ethical Electric just laid out for me the dollars, the figures, and the impact that even if Ethical Electric gets a small part of the market in electricity, I mean, the impact would be profound. So I wanted to be one of the first businesses, I think maybe the first business in D.C. to make the switch. And, I'm really excited about this.
Tom, We Act Radio is the first, right?
Yes, absolutely. We Act Radio is the first. Violet Boutique, and Adams Morgan is the second.
Which is a fantastic business, too.
I'd like to say that Take Action News was the first to discover this, but we didn't. But Tom, you've been involved in a lot of social movements, and I know there's been an effort, whether it's consumer products or I think in electricity. I think even Pennsylvania a few years ago had this idea that consumers could sort of choose as well.
That's right.
Is this sort of built on that kind of model, that even for something like utilities or things you don't think about, that we now have choices?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're taking advantage of energy choice that exists in 14 U.S. states right now and is expanding. Basically, if you live between Washington, D.C. and Maine and New Jersey and Illinois plus Texas right now, in that part of the country, you have a choice of your electricity supplier. Your utility gets paid to deliver the power and maintain the wires. They don't actually make any profit on the sale of the electricity. And so there are other companies that are making that profit. And what we're saying is, let's take that market share away from those other companies. Just to give you some idea of some of who those companies are, we're talking about companies. One company gave money, to Rick Perry, the infamous Texas climate denier. That's the company that owns the largest kind of quote unquote green energy company in New York right now, Green Mountain Energy. And so we think people, when they want to support something good like clean energy, they also don't want to support dirty energy politics. And so we offer a way to get off both dirty energy and get off of dirty energy politics.
And that includes organizations that support fair wages, union workers in terms of their electrical and utility workers.
That's right. I mean, this is kind of neutral in terms of its impact on union workers, unlike some other switches you might make. It's still the same union workers who are going to climb the electric pole to take care of your home if the power goes out. And in fact, the wind farms we buy from were built by IBW members on reclaimed strip mines in Pennsylvania, for example.
Is this the wave of the future, that more and more choices, whether it's, cable, or whether it's obviously you have choices with your automobiles and their organizations that can tell you which are, union made and all that kind of thing. But is that where we are heading in terms of society and the ability to have information at our fingertips online, that it's easier and easier for us to make these choices than it's ever been before?
Well, you certainly see that, certainly with media. That's been definitely the case, right? We've seen significant disruption of media over the last 10 years, and now you can build a media brand without having to own the distribution of the media. You can create your own media and do your own distribution, either online or through an online kind of syndicate hybrid, all sorts of different models for how to do it. I think it is certainly part of the future, but we also certainly have out there kind of uninterrupted monopolies that still need to be disrupted a little bit. Energy is part of that.
Assuming that I have a feeling this is going to be a huge success, and that Ethical Electric is going to be one of the powerhouses years down the road in the utility world. What are the other sort of industries that you think there's this sort of opportunity? Because I imagine this vision of yours has got to extend to all kinds of industries.
Yeah, I mean, our brand is ethical. It's not we're the Green Valley Energy Company. That's it is definitely a brand that could extend to other products and services, and I think there's a big opportunity in media to do that. That's been increasingly the case, and that niche media, for lack of a better term, has become more dominant now than it ever has been in the past. I think there's also opportunity to do that in some financial services. In energy, there's very little price difference at the wholesale level between buying a small amount of electricity and a big amount of electricity. That's not the case in some other products like insurance or banking. So I think those are going to be harder to see how they evolve in kind of a more ethical way. But that's definitely an opportunity.
In the time we have left, so folks in Washington D.C. or up and down the East Coast, they get their Potomac Electric Power Company statements, PEPCO or whatever it is. How do they transition from that to Ethical Electric?
Yeah, so the first thing is you go online. You can go to ethicalelectric.com, just sign up. It takes less than a minute. Literally less than a minute. All we need is your name, your address, your telephone number, your email address, and then one other piece of information you won't have on the top of your tongue, which is your utility account number, which is on everyone's bill. So you just need to get a picture of your bill, go online, you get your utility account number, your electric utility account number, and then you put that in there also. Your bill will still come from PEPCO, but then our name will, or whomever your utility is, and then our name will appear on the second page of the bill. And so you'll see our name there. And again, the costs are comparable, about the same as what you pay right now. In any one given month, they might be a little different, but they're about the same. And so it's really a question of this. You're already spending the money. Why spend it through dirty energy companies? You can spend it through an ethical company.
Well said. And indeed, I would imagine your costs will go down just like any business as you get more customers and they're able to do this, the utility value of having more customers. I mean, I imagine this goes down at a certain point, right?
Yeah, I mean, we are still subject to some of the whims of the energy markets out there. So, compared to the utilities prices will change also. And so we'll kind of probably track closely with how the utility prices change. What will go down is, obviously some of our operating expenses as a percentage of our, overhead, et cetera. But one thing we're offering in addition to, the opportunity to get clean, ethical electricity is we're offering people referral bonuses. We're going to give them $50 when they sign up someone else using one of our online tools. And we're also offering partnerships through movement companies, organizations, and nonprofits as well, where we'll help raise money when people sign up for ethical electricity.
The website is ethicalelectric.com. Ethical Electric, folks, you heard about it here first on We Act Radio, Take Action News, the first radio station in your nation's capital to be powered by ethical electricity. Tom, we are so glad to have this partnership, so glad to have discovered you, and thanks for all of your remarkable efforts on behalf of all of us who care about progressive values and want to see it promoted in every facet of our life. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Tom Matze, CEO of Ethical Electric, Take Action News, powered by ethical electricity, continues after this.